You get angry enough? Weird question, right? What do you mean enough? People don't like to talk about anger. With the way that it's portrayed in social media, TV, and movies, anger is bad. And the general view is that angry people or easily angered people should go to anger management to calm down and just train their emotions. As a result, I've noticed that people nowadays think anger is taboo and a sign of immaturity, and no one likes to talk about their anger. I'm gonna come right out and say it, anger is my favorite emotion. And I think anger is a really good thing. Here's why. Before we talk about why anger is good, let's tackle the elephant in the room. Aggression and violence is bad. I'm not trying to condone violence or aggression towards other people in any way, shape, or form. If you tend to get angry and resort to harassment, verbally or physically, to family, friends, or anyone, that is a problem and it is something that you should address. And there's a lot of programs out there for it, and I hope you are able to find one. What I'm talking about today is for the average good guy or girl who doesn't get angry too much and is normally pretty peaceful, or maybe you do feel anger sometimes but you don't like to talk about it. See, unless it's like an action movie like Die Hard, or you're watching a subway fight on a platform like from the outside as a bystander, nobody likes to see anger unfold live if it's someone you know, right? Especially if you're the person that this person is angry at. Like if one of my friends is like yelling at someone, threatening them, saying really mean things, I'd probably be like, yo bro, let's calm down and talk about this like grown-ups, even if I feel the same way that he does. Same thing when it comes to direct conflicts in my family or even at like a bar or something. Actually, side note, I always have this like running dream about stopping a bar fight. It seems like such a Captain America thing to do, you know, like break it up you guys, come on. So I'm not talking about anger expressed directly from person to person either. That's usually okay as long as there's no violence or your record label in the NFL is making huge profits off of it. Seriously, he dropped some bangers. And notice I said he, not they. Sorry, Drake. You still got some bangers out there. No, what I am talking about is internal anger that the everyday person, you watching this, experiences daily, weekly, monthly, or at least you should. But why? Why is anger a good thing? Well, for one, it's kind of a signal for you. Think of it like a yellow or a red on a traffic light. The more intense the anger is, the more it's a red light and a real sign that something is wrong. This is important, well, because you need to know when things are just not working for you. The issue is sometimes people don't feel enough anger or even allow themselves to feel enough anger, and other emotions like sadness and anxiety take over instead. Let's tackle an example to make this clear. So you have a manager at work who's usually a good guy. He's not a bad manager, and he usually seems to know what he's talking about. But sometimes you notice him going back on his word. Like let's say they told you to work on a project with two design options, design A and design B. Now you prefer design A, and you tell him this during a meeting, and it seems like he agrees with you. So you go ahead and start working on that. But when you show him 2 weeks later, he says he prefers design B. Your reaction now with anger is close to something like, what the heck? You told me that you agreed on design A. So you feel frustrated, annoyed, maybe a little bit angry, but you get over it, you pivot to the other design, and you start working on that. That's a yellow light from your anger. Kind of like a watch out for this guy warning. Without anger though, it's very easy to just feel sad and like you let yourself down. You might blame yourself for not making sure that you were all on the same page about design A. You might get anxious about work, start working more hours, beating yourself up more. But either way, in this scenario, it's really not much harm done, right? Months later though, he communicates another project and deadline to you with pretty clear expectations. In the middle of the project, he tells you that there's an issue and working on this might actually break your entire system. But the thing is, despite you delivering exactly what you were told to, he blames you for not catching this problem earlier, even though it's not even something in your domain. It's obvious his communication skills are a little bit off. But despite that, he pins the blame on you, and a couple weeks later, he tanks your performance review. Wow, another really pivotal event. So naturally, emotions come flowing in. Which ones though? Without anger, the anxiety starts rushing in. Oh man, I'm only 2 years out of college, I still got my student loans to pay off, I really need this job. What are my parents gonna think about me? They're gonna be so disappointed. I was such a good student in school, like what happened? In the midst of the anxiety, depression comes in and makes a potpourri of the emotional mess that you're already in. You feel disappointed, like you let yourself down. I let everybody down. Now, let's say we add anger to the mix, right? Your first reaction after that performance review is probably like, yo, this guy and this job. Yo, he told me exactly what to do. I did it. I put in the extra hours to do it well and right, and this is the thank you I get? Maybe I could have caught the holes in the project and found that error earlier. But still, that shouldn't be blamed directly on me. This is not the treatment that I deserve. I'm over this. I need a new job, or at least a new manager. Now you might still get some sadness and anxiety in this second scenario, but not also without the accompanying anger. So in this example, which option sounds better to you? I hope you're thinking the option with the anger, but if you're not, that's okay, because I think you will soon. Reason number 2. It's a catalyst for change. Now we know how we all feel about change. Change is annoying, it's scary. Nobody likes change at first value, but we all kind of know that change is usually good. And here's the thing, it's especially really good and sometimes necessary if it's followed by anger. Let's say you're in a relationship. You and your significant other have been going out for a couple of years now, and everything's been going pretty good. Over time though, you start to grow and change as people, because that's what people do. We grow and adapt to the changing world around us. And at some point, you notice your girlfriend or your boyfriend start to change too. Maybe they stop prioritizing you as much, or you're not getting that good morning text every morning, or maybe they just are not taking enough interest in your daily life. Or maybe they take you for granted and they don't surprise you for special occasions like they used to, and they kind of start treating you like they already have you. Or maybe now they're sometimes straight up rude to you and have completely stopped treating you like the king or queen that you are and the way you deserve to be treated. Sound familiar? Now there's a million relationship ruining scenarios and I can't name them all. Point is, this person's behavior changes and they start to mistreat you. Now either you don't care because you kind of feel the same way that they do and you're about to end it, but if you do care and you're kind of surprised by how all of these things have changed, this will not be well received by your emotions. Now here's what's going to happen without anger. You get sad because you're not being treated as well, or maybe you're being taken for granted, or maybe you get anxious about future plans because you guys are supposed to go to Italy this summer and now you're not so sure about how that trip's going to go. Worse than any of that though, maybe some self-doubt starts to creep in and you start thinking, what if this is my fault? What did I do wrong? What if I'm not as attractive or as good of a partner as I used to be when we first started dating? You see the issue here? Now we can make the same scenario with friendship instead. Let's say you have a close friend group, maybe from college, and you guys are all pretty tight because you all game together or something. Over time, you all start to grow and change as people because that's what people do. We change, we grow and adapt in response to our changing environment. And at some point, you notice that your friendships change as well. Maybe someone you were really tight with starts to not prioritize you as much. They stop reaching out and straight up just don't invite you anymore to dinner or to game or whatever. They don't value you the same. Or maybe they start taking you for granted like they already have you. They stop wishing you happy birthday, they stop ever like checking in on you, seeing how you're doing, but they still sometimes come over and eat all your food and drinks and basically take advantage of what you offer them as a friend. Or maybe they straight up just tell you that they don't want to be your friend anymore. Point is, this friendship is coming to a sunset. Now either you don't actually care because you guys are just naturally drifting apart and you've started to treat them in a similar way, which is totally cool, people drift, happens, or you actually did care about the friendship, and in that case, it's kind of an emotional potpourri again. Now, without anger. Sadness, because you now feel excluded and left out from a group or a person that you thought was your good friend. Anxiety, because you thought you were going on a trip with them this summer, or maybe you had some future plans, and now you're not sure if it's actually happening. And again, worse than that, self-doubt. What if I'm not capable of being a good friend? What if I'm not cool enough, or funny enough, or have enough followers? See the problem? Now let's add in some anger into these scenarios. With the relationship example, instead of jumping to blaming yourself or being sad, your anger takes hold and says, wait a minute, I deserve better. Why am I putting up with this dude or this girl? I do my part. Or maybe I don't. But either way, I don't deserve to be harassed. And I want these good morning texts. And I want to feel like I'm the love of this person's life. Your anger can build up now and cause change. Go up to your partner, confront them, and you talk about it, and maybe you work it out. Maybe they didn't even realize what they were doing wrong, and you communicate and you fix it and everything is good. Or maybe they're a dick and they argue back and you end up breaking up. Either way, you cause change. Good change. With the friendship example, Same thing. Instead of jumping to despair and self-doubt, you get angry. You confront them. Tell your friend that they're not treating you right and you expect and deserve better. Either they agree and this saves your friendship, or maybe they don't agree and they think you guys just haven't been close, and you come to a realization that it's you who hasn't been putting in the effort. So you start to communicate, plan some more hangouts, hang out again, and you again save the friendship. Or you realize the friendship is just not meant to be because you've both changed and you decide to just not be friends with this person, or at least in your mind move them to a lower tier of friendship. Either way, you stop putting up with their bullshit. Anger leads to action, leads to change. Good change. Necessary change. Get the pattern? What about the manager example from before, right? With anger, you say, screw this, I deserve a better manager who's going to actually help me grow. You quit, you switch teams, or at the very least, it pushes you to go confront your manager during your next one-on-one. And in future meetings, that feeling of anger and knowing that you're going to be stomped on if you don't get angry will make you stand up for yourself more and advocate for yourself and back up the work that you've done and the decisions you've made, because you know that if you don't, you're just going to get taken advantage of. And that's not just at work. This is work, relationships, friendships, everything. And I know it means disagreeing with your manager or bringing up a sensitive topic to people you're close to. It's scary. I get it. But the alternative is getting stomped all over you. You can slave and work long hours, being too afraid to actually voice your opinion. And whether or not your coworkers are generally nice people, they have learned to stand up for themselves. So if you want to keep up with them in the workplace, you have to do the same for yourself. You have to get angry. Anger is essential for being able to stand up for yourself. And that brings us to reason number 3, why anger is a good thing. Anger enforces self-confidence, the opposite of self-doubt. If you struggle with your self-confidence or self-esteem, you might not be getting angry enough. Without anger, you don't stand up for yourself in your relationship. Without anger, you don't stand up for yourself in your job. And it's not just those scenarios either. If there's something in your life that's missing right now, get angry. If you're not in shape, get angry. Why is everyone around me so hot and I can't see that in myself? You should be angry, and that should force you into the gym. If you're not making as much money as the people around you and you feel like you are more competent and capable than them, that should piss you off. You gotta get angry, and that should motivate you to work harder and go make more money. Anger is essential to human well-being. That's why it's continued to stick with us since the pre-modern ages. Through natural selection and everything, humans are meant to get angry. We're meant to take things personally and get offended by them if the person delivering it has no business doing it. Anger can help you with your health. It can help save relationships, families, all while building your self-esteem and confidence. Anger can weirdly enough resolve conflicts, because without it, there may be no confrontation at all and it's just one side taking advantage of the other. So you gotta confront, which means you have to get angry, especially in scenarios where confrontation and disagreement is actually very natural and healthy, like work and relationships, and between friends, groups of people, countries, whatever it may be. So if you're afraid of anger, don't be. It can be a powerful tool for you to use if you use it right. As a spark to inspire change, demand the best for yourself, as a signal, as a way to increase your self-confidence. Be careful of prolonged anger though, because that can lead to rage, and rage is like a wildfire. It's uncontrolled and it can destroy a lot of aspects of your life. If you're just constantly angry and pissed off by everything and never happy, that's not what I'm advocating for here. But a little bit of anger, when it's necessary, is a good thing. And that's why it's my favorite emotion. I love being angry and pissed off. It's so natural. It's so raw, you know? It just comes from the human side of me. Don't get me wrong, I love being happy too. Happiness is better, but happiness is also fleeting. You can't be happy all the time, and every emotion has its place, including anger. Speaking of, I'm angry that this video is so long. I wanted to keep it to 10 minutes. Okay, bye!